Right now we're in the middle of watching to see whether or not we're going to get that break. I mean, again, we're in tension, so if that tension can break end of day 205.81 is what's above us here. It's just the wick on IWM. I mean, you do have 3 rejections here, so it makes sense that you would be able to leave. So any position move back underneath 205. I think on the hourly, with that much curl back up, it might be worth it for me to try to take a crack at 206. So we got 206.25. I can only assume that's a weird setup, man. So what's next? We got 15 to 50. We've got small structures here, here, and here. This is pre-market shit, but I think here and there, then including the channel on IWM. So this is what I'm referring to when I say like you got to scratch your head. You know, like this is something where when I flip the channel on, is that, you know, looks like it has enough tension built to make an overnight move. Maybe retest 207, and then this could be the chop zone, right? Downside's a little bit harder to visualize. Obviously, with today's wick right off of our 202.67 gap fill. So there's that. SPY on the 24 hour, still dealing with it. So you still have range, right? We can't guarantee a break on the 24 hour. Now, here we're made it outside of that consolidation and we're moving up against that 292. You'll move down to the 2, you'll see that kind of overhead here. So if we can make it above that, I mean, I only see 595, and there's and how are we moving, I think is really more important. Very weak. We just tapped it right there, that red candle that you see. So, I mean, I'm not super confident in today's swing trade, which is okay, right? We don't have to do this every single day if it's not clear. Jolts tomorrow at 10. That's not super impactful. Hey, what's up, Brock? Yeah. Yeah. We'll see how we close. I think this is probably one of the better times to wait to see how we respond to the level that I just drew out with IWM. I could see a speculative swing to 208. The downside target's obviously a little bit less clear because you would have to break down below today's lows, and there's your pocket of empty space, and then the $200 or 200 199 area. So I'm looking at all 3 ETFs. We've got, you know, the Qs, same deal, except one thing that's clear on the Qs is you are up against that area that we did reject. So again, between now and the end of the day, how we respond to this particular level, I think will give us really good insight on what tomorrow or overnight price action could bring. If you're swinging short speculatively, this is probably where you would want the audio.
Yo, Potter.
Yeah, hold
I
on.
don't know if it's just no, your voice is really choppy. I don't know if it's just me,
Yeah,
but
no, I'm hearing the same thing. I was about to say something. You keep cutting in and out.
Is that better?
Yeah, that low T level is really.
Shut the fuck up. Is this better?
Yeah,
so far, maybe. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
Need a new mic. Fuck that. It's a fucking $350 mic. All right. Anyway, what I was saying is that because this is the rejection level, if any of you, because I don't see a clear signal, if you are going to head short or you're looking at, you know, the gap fill on the Qs, it's far as fuck away. I don't think that I mean, again, it's hard to see us going all the way to 508, but that's where one would look at a potential hold. And right now, price is sitting flat up against it. If it breaks out into the highs, we got 525.76, right? Which I think, looking at the lower
I mean,
time,
better.
Still chopping.
still chopping? What the fuck is happening? I didn't do anything. TikTok is fine. Here, let me do this. How's that? Is that better? That should be better. I have crisp on Discord. All right.
It is better. It's just like after you talk for like a minute, it then starts to go in and out.
That's what she said. Okay.
Yeah,
So we've
I knew
got,
that was coming.
yep. That's what she said. 523, right? Again, you can do both. I just, to me, you know, what did we say last Friday, guys? We didn't have to. That there wasn't anything clear. And, you know, if you swung short, maybe you caught a little bit of glory to the downside. Today opened up the opportunity for us to take a quick day trade, call that a W. You know, I didn't make the swing trading amount. I mean, I made a little bit over a stack, but I mean, we don't have to. And if you feel like you have to, and there's no clear signal, and, you know, and again, I said this on Friday, sometimes are we still good on Discord? Am I clear?
Yeah, going on.
Okay. But if the setup is not clear and you take it and it does something crazy, you're going to test that, right? That's going to affect that next trade. So the next time you do that and there is no setup, it leads to bad habits. So looking at the setup right now, it is interesting, right? All of what we're looking at above us is pre-market action. So if you're looking up, it's 525 and 528 on the Qs. And I'm just going to give out price targets for speculators or people who are taking, because again, as far as my strategy is concerned, we have points of contact that we're all touching. The empty space is, you know, kind of above us. We have the channel, the gap still laying down below us. And we're at that area where sellers are, again, supposed to step up. So between now and the end of the day, we'll hopefully get a better idea of what that is. And then with IWM, again, it's 208 to the upside, right? That's what I actually wouldn't mind. That's probably, if you are somebody who, you know, Qs are going to be a lot more expensive, so IWM might be a good option. But that's 208 to the upside, and then technically it's 202.33 to the downside and 201. With SPY, and these price targets are potential. We do target-based contracts. So with the Qs, same deal with the Qs with SPY as the Qs, you are up against an area that sellers have controlled the price. You did so by pushing off. You do have empty space up above you on a lower time frame. And so to the upside, I would be targeting a 595.50. I would definitely be watching 595 flat, period. That is basically like 50% of that empty space above us. And then to the downside, this one actually is now becoming the preferred setup. And I would ask you guys, you know, go look at why. And I don't hardly ever trade SPY, but if you look at the setup, as far as the channel is concerned, and then even how much of the gap has been filled, right? With SPY, you barely got a dip. You bounced at an old cost basis and you held yourself back up. You have a lot more room to the downside all the way to 578.76. So you can use that as a target-based contract if you are hedging, whatever the case may be. So anyway, we'll check on this towards the end of the day, but if you have anything you want me to take a look at, again, we don't really have anything crazy ahead of us as far as data is concerned. So Meta is ripping, isn't it? Well, it's too late. Hold on, maybe. I thought for some reason it was back at the highs. I would say that right now you are at cost basis. Right there. Yeah. So maybe a little bit more. You got 680 if this keeps ripping to the end of the day. I'm an empty space person, so you know, looking at this, it's like 715 would be the target if you could. So, all right, Walmart did revive. Yes, it did. It's a good talk this morning. DE. Oh, I haven't charted that one in a long time. Coors used to ask me about this all the time. Remember that, Coors? Well, that's a bit of a mess. Yes, Walmart is good to go, I think, for now. All right, so weekly, I'm not really catching a vibe here. It's very, 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 very choppy. Let's see the monthly. So in the monthly, you can kind of get to see a little bit more of what, I mean, again, massive structure underneath you, empty space up above you, or just new highs up above you. So with something like this, I'm not going to pretend like I see something that I don't. I don't really see much unless you are looking underneath you, which I guess in that case, I could say the exact same thing. I don't see all that much. So with that being said, I think marking out when I can't see structure or empty space, I mark out key levels, right? Or areas where sellers, buyers, sellers control the price. Right now, you got basically 500 or 499.85 underneath you. You are bouncing. And then really a stronger level where I think price would be vice gripped down, and that's at 488.50. To the upside, you are retesting. This is what what you're supposed to do before you go up on a lower time frame. And this is just again outside of my wheelhouse. Am I in the right country right now? Yeah, okay. Um, it's really even tough for me to put structure on this. And then when you go to the fucking 4 hour, it's like this shit moves slower than a tractor, dude. It's crazy. So through 512.80, that's rough analysis. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, you have really, really terrible data. You know, as far as candlesticks are concerned. So I'd say 512.50. You have a gap fill to the upside. If you can go fill that gap fill, I'd be looking for the break of the highs. But not gonna comment on that one too much more because yes. All right. Let's break it off and look at Walmart. So, like I said this morning, what is most important? What you lose. And what did we lose this morning? We did see a rejection. That is really sad and disappointing. But thankfully, Walmart gave us another opportunity by bouncing and holding the structure that was underneath it. And we were able to kind of map that out. I did trim off the ad that I made this morning just to make sure that I wasn't going to incur some extra loss. And those have been retaken. So I feel good about what I have on Walmart. I have the 99.50 wall, or excuse me, basically $100 wall on the 24-hour. This is the first solid green candle that we've had up against the top. We've got empty space to the upside. I'm fucking sending it. Gotta go. There's nothing else that what more could I fucking possibly ask for? And if it doesn't work out, I guess it doesn't work out, you know. But as far as what I see in front of me, candles closing, I mean, as far as Walmart is concerned, you know, this is about as friendly as a door greeter as you're gonna fucking meet. Sweet old lady in a wheelchair named Brenda. All right. XLE.
Line.
Huh? Honey, can I see your receipt? Oh Lord. So what is this? Fucking yeah, energy. She doesn't have it. It has a lot of empty space to the upside. That's for damn sure. Right? Where's the floor? Oh, you see how when you go to a higher time frame, clarity. Remember when you got your first vision test and they gave you your first pair of glasses, and you were like, "Holy shit!" Weekly.
Crazy.
83.20. Right? That is clearly what we are fighting up against. So that is no question. You can see that reflected on the 24-hour. Whenever you drop into structure, right, our biggest fear is that you would break down below the 50% mark of whatever area of consolidation is under you, and you're fighting. So you are fighting. Now, what would that mean if we were able to close outside of 83.20? To me, that would mean that sellers are losing their grip. And I think what you have is a base camp up above you filled with fucking buyer supplies, right? And that would be 84.10. So in order to get there, you got to get here, right? You got to get outside of that. And that's it. Stamp, approval, notarized. It is beautiful. It's a goddamn work of art.
You're amazing.
Yo, somebody just walked past my house smoking dope. Sheesh. So look at that. Goddamn. All right, so 24-hour time frame you are trying, right? Obviously, to close outside of that range, we go to the 4-hour, and we have that blasted channel, right? And we take that away, and you're still like, okay, that's 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Come on, right? You bounce off your gap, like you need a little more juice. Then you slap the channel in there, and you're like, okay, so that's the area of containment. That's where we're currently being held down from. That being said, Hood just has one more high, right, on the weekly, and that's 85.75. We go over there on the 24-hour. This is taking forever. Damn, that was like the Oregon Trail. And we're going to put a candle right here, right? And we're going to put a candle right here. Now, why am I putting candles on price points that don't have structure in the middle of nowhere? Because that's all I have. If I see a spooky gas station sign in the middle of nowhere and I have no gas, what choice do I have? Literally the plot for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So with that being said, right, you are above where you need to be, but you're struggling with the current or with the lower time frame levels that you've set before. So it's a crapshoot, right? Whenever you offer price up at a higher level than it's already been, and buyers don't really seem to be accepting it, it's either a catalyst that will enthuse them enough to continue that. So maybe that's what you're waiting on. Or because there is no volume, it falls underneath the control of this channel, and perhaps we're looking at some selling. So to me, man, I'd feel indifferent and probably ready to, it depending on what my expiration is, maybe hedge. Honestly, it's like if you have it, just cut it if you have a good average. As far as taking it is concerned, I don't know how I feel too much about that one. So I took one trade today, Milkers, and it was 388%. And then I skedaddled it. Oh, Walmart was, I got out of that one. And then I didn't get out of that one. I took off what I added. And then it went back up to where I cut it. And lower time frame looked good. So I went ahead and added those little fuckers back on. Walmart I actually am 50-50 on Walmart. It's win or lose on that one. So, Chad, if you're in August and July, I think you're fine, right? You're good to explore that, but be, really vigilant about how you depart. So I don't mean to take anything away from that setup. And if you have a good expiration, it's always the salve, to the burn of theta is having time.
Sure. I appreciate that.
Damn, that's pretty good.
Also thinking that the Bitcoin will continue to help that go upward, right?
Yeah.
They're kind of tandem in that way. And everybody's expecting Bitcoin to continue to go up.
Right.
Maybe that's too much of a wishful thinking thing.
I mean, there's correlations there. Neo. What are you looking to do with that one? You want Neo up. Lord have mercy, we taughted fucker. You.
Neo's got earnings tomorrow morning.
Oh, no shit, that's right. Listen, I didn't call him that. If you're on TikTok, I would never, but that's his name. And I respect people too much not to call them what their name. And his name is Wataded Fucker. All right.
You really doubled down on that one, huh?
Yeah, I did. Respect it. All right. Neo is as far as an earnings setup is concerned, I think really the first thing to do is go look at what the fuck it does. And it looks like it starts a chain reaction in some cases. Here, nothing. Here, pretty fucking decent. Little ripper. You had a lot of boo-boo above you, but you had a nice little channel. Kind of giving that away. Now, oh man, so that's both sides. You know, I could say 322 to the downside. To the upside, you need a fucking miracle, but 471. That would be the, I mean, downside, you know, maybe you punch through 320, but let's go to the weekly. Maybe I get something clear. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one, dude. That one's not above the 371 floor. So maybe you just go back to your floor, or yeah, I wish I had a bet. 445. Read this as Asian earnings. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I see the Qs and SPY, IWM. IWM is what's happening to my voice right now? Astro don't say a goddamn thing, I swear to God. 208s. I mean, they're $14. You could do 209s if you're risk adverse. Those are cheap, but you have to sell them when the target is getting hit. So that'd be my upside. Huh?
Huh?
What'd you say to me? And then downside, again, this has like a 199.50 target down, which is ridiculous. Yeah, you could buy the same amount and have very little risk to the downside. So, all right, yeah, I'm just taking a little stratiola. Not really. I mean, I'm weighted more to the upside, but the hedges, you know, again, if we completely lost our ass overnight, and I want to reiterate, I have to do it, you know, when we're in range. For those of you guys, you know, there's levels to this shit. I know you're probably getting tired of me saying this, but we're in a box. And if you want to fucking make money, you need to find something that's leaving a box or breaking a box or something. This is not, I mean, it's cheap, sure, but it's not, definitely not guaranteed. So, Astro is, why not? Oh my God. Astro. What the fuck? Grab weekly. Lord have mercy.
You said not to say it.
No, I said something about my voice changing.
What happened with your voice, huh?
Don't worry about it. It's fine. Dude, I can't decide between arsenic or this chart. What do you want to do with this? Grab weekly. Chunky, let me know. What is the idea here? I can see a move coming because of the consolidation on the weekly, but what are we trying to accomplish here? A move up to the top. It's either to the top at 550 or 530, or it's a move back down to 4. So, can you go look at the left side? Like over here? Are you looking at all that empty space up there? Dude, there's steps that have to happen for that to occur. I'm not sure what this is. That would probably be important research there. That happened in October of 21. Yeah, so you got a ass ton to work there. You got a box here, and then you've got, you know, somewhat of a box here. So yeah, lots of empty space, but not all. Well, let's just put it this way: if it has low volume, low liquidity, I'm not sure about its institutional holdings, but those can leave that behind until some sort of squeeze happens. So maybe look at the short flow. Again, that's kind of far outside of what I would do. Again, and this is what I was talking about this morning. If you see something and I don't, do it. I can't. This is not something I would ever trade because it doesn't look good to me. It just, the empty space is ridiculously far away, but that's to me, right? There are straightforward price targets, right? You got cost basis above you at 550. Stop it, toothless asshole. I don't like it when you make a different voice. You sound like a robot. What are you talking about? But anyway, you have 530, right? And 550. So if you are gonna fucking take it, as long as you can set a good stop loss on it, I encourage you to explore that shit. All right, DG earnings. Oh shit, kitty sniffer.
Potter, are you skipping? You skipped me
No,
twice.
you know what? Calm down. All right. No, I didn't.
Here's number.
Get back in line.
I did XL
Twice,
you.
sir.
I did XL you.
Twice.
I did XL.
No, scroll up.
Because you made him wait for lunch.
Wait, what?
Wait, what the fuck? Hold
No,
on.
that wasn't
Did
the
you make
only
him
one
wait
that
for
I
lunch?
did.
Yeah, but it's one. Why has nobody
And then
listened?
you said you didn't care.
I do. I do. I do one at a time. One request per person. No double request.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's too much chat going on in the request bubble. It's distracting.
You said you were brown, that's why.
Yeah, I think that's why.
He's not brown.
I know he did like 2 for Astro, like, so.
I did not do any for Astro. You know what,
He did
dude?
not aim for
This is
Astro.
haram. You're
Why are
you're
you
being
pissed off
haram.
about
I know that's a lie because Astro only trades one ticker.
Yeah,
Tesla.
and he hasn't done it yet. So I need you to keep my name out
Wait.
your mouth.
I'm gonna go to the.
Tesla and TSLL.
All right. I'm gonna meet me at the mosque. All right. It's going down.
How about that?
What is
Let's do it at the next prayer time then, maybe in an hour. How about that?
Fine, we'll pray together and then I'll let you know
Wait, okay.
what's up with this wand. You know what I'm saying? Pause. All right.
Come here, puppy.
I'm going above you because I skipped sparkles too. All right. I'm starting from the beginning. This filled up all of its empty space. Put in the trash can. AI retest 2474. You either build a box and then try to get up what was remaining in there. What do you want to do with this? AI up? Oh, Lord have mercy. So you got empty space, I guess, on the lower time frames. So sure, this would be a decent place for you to be bouncing. And your first target's going to be right around $26 and $26.30. Leo, same thing. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You know, the 4 hour seems more important to me. I don't know what the fuck all this shit is. A lot of wickage that happened during and after, or what the fuck is that? Yeah, earnings. So you have like a lot of weird wickage, and it almost draws you into the lower time frame. Yeah, where you have some aftermarket hot dog water right there. So ultimately, I would like to see, I mean, what you're doing is fine. The 24-hour, and, you know, it looks like it might have a little bit more sideways action with the candle close at the moment. So let's go here to the 30-minute. All right, this is base camp. This can't break. So you can do whatever you want in between 121 and 118 flat, 117.86. You can do whatever you want there, but ultimately anything underneath that would be entering the danger zone. So you have 1 2. If you can come back and retest this, that's fine too. But you just need to break today's high. That's it. All right. Nike up. What the hell was I drawing? What is this?
Hallucinogenics.
Oh, I was talking about. I think I remember. You had a weird range that you're making right here. 4-hour time frame. Filled the gap, bounced. He left a gap underneath you. That's a weird thing you're doing here. Yeah, if this doesn't work out, this shit's gonna waterfall. But I mean, you've got a lot of pressure against sellers right now. So Nike. So this has got to be a lower time frame. Yeah, empty space play here. What might be useful for anybody who's in here is if you, let's say you're playing something and it's, what time frame is that setup that you see? Just put it, weekly, 24-hour. It does help me kind of narrow it down so I can see. You see you got a 30-minute box you're trying to break over, but really it is, where's my fucking drawing pen? There it is. It's 61.75. That's your ticket to the upside, if that's what you're looking to do on Nike. Ooh. 24-hour. What the fuck is this? Holy shit. Huge weekly consolidation. One could consider that mid punchback. What the fuck is this? Data. What is this? What am I looking at here? Is this right?
Energy Canada, yeah.
Oh, I was in Canada though. Not in America. Woo. What a ride. So, let me go back over here. Where's the high? What do you?
I just got a signal on a firm up.
Still have a 54.87, 54.65 that I want to see on that one. That's got to be a lower time frame setup as well. I see empty space to 54.65. Yeah. So I see a gap on ENB, which, that could be something that, has that already been filled? No. So that would be something that I would likely be targeting because you don't really have a ton. And I mean, you're at the highs now. So if you're going to take it or you have taken it, I mean, you're above the box. You've already punched back. You made a new high. So staying above $47, it's important for whatever this is to go and potentially fill that gap. And that's what I would be looking at to the upside. So you said 62.50. Oh, wait.
That's because I was looking at the other one.
Oh, you were doing Canada. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
See,
because that
that's
one was at resistance.
yeah, I mean, this one looks way different. This one 65. If that breaks, you could go look at, you would have a minor high of 65, 64, and then you'd be off. And then to the downside, it's just the 63.90. So it's interesting. That's the top of the box. 60, you said 62.50. Okay, yeah, I mean, I could see that. Yeah, that would be the target underneath the box, but honestly, it might be worth it to look further down, maybe to the 60 mark. 61 mark, excuse me. All right. Asan. I'm looking. Yeah, BA, I had an alert go off today, but nothing happened. All right, 24-hour Asana. I think I charted this before recently. I'm not sure. Oh, no. Or no. Got green lines on it. Ugh. You were in a massive. I mean, that is crazy. But I mean, you're coming off of the bottom. The weekly has a large area of consolidation. You're trying to reclaim the floor, so 1865. Personally, I see 2112 as like the next target to the upside, perhaps in confluence with. No, that doesn't seem super confluential. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know. This one is kind of you're right up against the top. You have I would need confirmation on whether or not you can grab hold of 1886, and that could give you the passage you need to potentially move up. But man, you're in a huge area of consolidation, so it's outside of 2470 and up above 28 that this has, you know, a chance to. Earnings this week, yeah, it's on earnings, or I think you had a pretty decent earnings 15 to 24 couple earnings ago. This earnings had a big dump, this one, so it has like short jolts, but not always slapping. So earnings is, and again with earnings, it's like I don't see anything either. I'm being 100% honest. I don't see anything unless some records get broken. Billy. Why? You guys are giving me hard stocks today. The fuck? The fuck? Yeah. That is a weird looking setup right there. You are sitting at cost basis. You do have a gap back up at the top of that box. So this is where you would bounce and you are curling up towards there. Overhead, you have a also extremely weird ass looking setup. And so outside of that gap, you would have a small box to punch through right here, and that 1931 should get you, I think, in I would aim for 2128 personally. That's where you have a gap fill up there, but otherwise maybe this goes down, you know. And at that point, I'm trying to look for, you know, the black holes of price, and that's where we usually look at the tops or gaps or empty space. And so I would be looking at a 1718 and 1621 target. Roblox uppies up against an important level, 24-hour, looking good. Damn, nice job. You are correct. So just make it simple, right? What's above you? First green, well, the green candle on the floor is right here at 93.18. Just want to see, is that empty? So you definitely have to muscle above 95.40, but at that point, 99 seems inevitable. So you are up against an important level, though. You are correct. I'm thinking about Tesla shorts tomorrow. Okay. I think Tesla might be waiting for the market, but it does look like it has formed a perfect box using cost basis, which I've seen that a lot more lately. But if you want to go up, we need to see an hourly candle close above 343.30 or 345.75, punching through the wick of or today's high for a move up. Now that's limited by the structure that's above you, so you'd have a lot to work through, but mostly 350 would be huge. To the downside, right? We bounced today and we're stalling currently. The low of day from today. So we touched both triggers today, right? Or both, we touched a floor here, which if you're not looking, you'll miss it. There's a box on the bottom of the floor, right? Lower time frame. So you bounce off of that box, that's your ticket down. If you can get down, you guys know, I mean, honestly, that's probably worth putting an alert on right now. If you get down, I'm looking at 323, 325. Bull down. How many of y'all on TikTok are gonna be there on Sunday, this Sunday, for the workshop? Um, so Sammy, this is honestly, hold on one second before I say anything else. No. When it comes to something like this, it reminds me of, I think Roblox actually did this too. Yeah. So you see how this just, I mean, it free falls. So I could say the same thing about the all-time highs as I can about all-time lows. I have very little to go off of. And so I don't try to. I look for areas of accumulation and structure, and that typically helps. Okay, cool. If you've done the workshop, I'm hosting a live one, my last live one. And if you already have it, it's on the website, the tickets for it. Or the link is actually in the free or the Potterbox Workshop Discord at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to be talking about it every day. So that way nobody says, I didn't hear it. There's still going to be people who say that. So, but anyway, back to what I was saying. Sammy, you know, you got to take this step by step. At the moment, you're approaching lows. We're not finding any buyers quite yet. So really focus on, if you're trying to buy equity, what's above, right? Once you kind of establish that, that can help. But at the moment, I would just be watching, look at the opening IPO bounce at 990, but I don't have any greater insight more than you do. What if I am deaf? Like, what if you die? Or what if you can't hear it? It's two very different things. I am also mega death. Damn. Can't hear shit. UNG, United States Natural Gas Fund. Gas is fun. All right, so what are we looking to accomplish here? I think I put the wrong one in. Where's UNG? Yeah, I think I did. UNH? Yeah, not UNG. My bad. Holy shit. Look at that, man. Torture for all those people who think that they've been able. I mean, but you got tension now. The issue with that is, let's see here. Let's drop a floor right there. I mean, you have it's a tough call right there with that. So I see a channel, and I see you loading up volume for a move in one direction or another. So you're kind of curling there. I mean, at this point, I think that setting up an hourly game plan here, so you have that mark there, and then that right there, that's 312.50. And then you got a gap underneath 287.46, and their floor was at 285.45. So I would say right now you're looking at a obvious breakdown, you know, through 298. If you're going to head down, that has, you know, less lucrative targets at 285.75, and I would assume 269. I just said 269.50. To the upside, the channel is, you know, showing maybe a potential run into the 335s, but ultimately the box above us on the hourly will be our first target, and that's above today's high. I need a play to make $500. Do you know how to trade? Do you have a good strategy? Do you know how to use that strategy and identify clear setups without anybody's help? If you don't, the market doesn't care how much money you need or what you need it for. It doesn't care if you're on your deathbed or if you need it for your mom or your dad, or it will ruthlessly and without mercy take everything that you have. So I would either look elsewhere or take the fucking time and figure this shit out. Dean, have you gone through my YouTube videos, my boy? I'm holding Walmart, everybody. Wally World. 103s. DocuSign has a punchback on the 4-hour to get you potentially over cost basis. 93.45, and that should get you to a 102.50 target and maybe even just straight up to the highs. That does have earnings coming up, I think, relatively soon. So going into earnings, you have a lot of compression, a lot of tension, but honestly, I know these are really far away, but these would be my targets up and down. Down seems like, you know, that's again pretty far-fetched, but I would see 74.11 somewhere in there. Yeah, I am in Walmart, and it's looking pretty good. We'll see what we get. All right, Mara. 4-hour upside. So you got a good bounce off of cost basis, right? I looked at Bitcoin, and, you know, Bitcoin has a scary looking setup. So a lot is going to have to happen here. Now, the box that I have drawn behind us, it is toasted, right? And this is attention to motherfucking detail, because look, you had a box, you popped out, you punched down. Easy to miss, right? And remember when I told you that boxes, after they're used, only serve as just resistance marks? It's proof right there. You have that 1650 tap. So what's the deal? Beautiful. Transmutation, 1650, right? That would be your breakup to a new high. In order to get there, you got empty space down there, he knew. So you definitely, it is possible for Mara to give you a decent play to the upside. And I think step one here at 1463. Step two, move through this range by recovering 1485 and punching through 1516. That would, I think, release you to be able to go and fill that pocket right there. On what MR or M records? So BA, same. You do have a good solid candle close outside of the range for once. So I think you could have a potential gap up, right? I mean, you're having a little bit of trouble here at the end of the day getting up and above that mark. So if you open up in range, you're probably going to need more consolidation to make that run. But you are and did hit that mark today, and price didn't really love it. I think right now you're literally sitting right on that sell wall. So it might just need some more rotations before it can break out. And if we're being speculative here, we could say 1, 2, 1, maybe 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So you could still have another rotation.
Real quick, Garrett, BA got upgraded
But
as a buy. Just click on the little.
you know what got upgraded at $65?
Yeah.
Snapchat. You know what happened after that? Went to 14. I have no idea sometimes, man, when it comes to those upgrades and stuff. Dude, it's like you could put it in a bear market and nobody would give a shit. You can have good earnings in a bear market and nobody gives a shit. It's the condition, BA getting upgraded, you would have already figured that it would have responded, right? And that's like when you're in a raging bull market, that's what you need. And that didn't happen. So I'm not saying it can't happen for sure overnight. I think if you right now you're doing a decent job of holding what you need to, but you hit the top and you did not break. So it might be a little bit of lower time frame whippage or grindage in order to, shit. You could even just zoom in a little bit further and say this would be all in range trading. But you could say BA comes back down. BA hits 207, retest 208, comes back down, tests 206, and then curls right the fuck back up, and we're off. So, yeah, Walmart is what? Very good. Yeah, I'm not even looking at my contracts. I'm just letting them work. Very good. All right. Yeah, Walmart is moving. You guys are correct. That was the intention. Hopefully it continues. All I had was basically $100 as the imbalance on that wick. But overnight price action. Need it. I like the balance on BA now. That looks better. All right. Jesus. Fuck, that's empty space though, right? 24-hour candle is green here. 4-hour candle, where's the wall? Is here. So that's 202.83, and that would give you the access to potentially the rest of that empty space. You got a gap down here at 195, and so if neither of those bullish things happened, one could assume that that would be the retest level tomorrow, and you could reject and spill and move down. But Apple should be an intriguing move wherever it goes because it has maybe less clarity down, but definitely it's got decent empty space up. So yeah, hourly, these levels.
Yeah, as I look at Apple, it looks like it would be too soon to, like, taking it right now would be too soon.
Guys, and I'm going to say this, it's about to close. The Q's SPY. Sellers are not doing their job. Buyers are holding the price up. So we can speculate on a potential move up. With IWM, right? I see this floor. I see the 4-hour setup here, and they're cheap. Like I could throw $500-600 into that and be cool. But you have a gap fill bounce today. You go down to the hourly. There's a lot of accumulation. You've got kind of empty space up above you. So there's a little play, again, but ultimately we still have a while, or rather we have quite a distance left to run until we get outside of our range. So NVTS looks like it's about to start going through an area of consolidation. You have lower time frame empty space, so it looks like 1614 is likely to get retested. That might happen tomorrow, the next day. You need to stay above 544. God damn it. What time is it? It's 4 o'clock. Okay. Make your decisions. Make good decisions. Period. Yeah, Walmart's okay. Yeah, so that should be about it. Lunar. Okay, I see what you're looking for. Yeah, I would be looking down right around 1050 and then maybe that 970 underneath you, coffee. But I definitely see that as a nice rejection there. Weird bounces though. Those wicks are weird. All right, folks. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording here. We'll see what tomorrow brings, but I think we got away with murder today with the quick scalp on IWM, 388%. So let's see if tomorrow brings something similar. I gotta go run some errands, and then I'm gonna take my sleepy ass down for a maybe nap. As soon as I step out of this door, my family's going to attack me.
See
Which
you in
is
3
okay.
hours for video games.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know about that. I have if you do see me gaming, which I'm gonna go stop